What is cyclical unemployment closely associated with? So in this class, we have cyclical and natural unemployment. Some are naturally occurring, and cyclical are caused by business fluctuations, economic fluctuations, which are short-run ups and downs of the economy, whether we're going through a recession or through a boom phase. Long-run economic growth doesn't tell us much about what's going on with cyclical unemployment. Fluctuations in production does, and that's the ups and downs. Seasonal fluctuations may happen naturally around Christmas and just after Christmas and so on. That's not really linked to cyclical unemployment. It just naturally occurs. And fluctuation in the natural rate of unemployment, there's other reasons why the natural rate, which is a mixture of different types of unemployment, as we'll see in these next few questions, can fluctuate over time based on technology or access to information. But otherwise, cyclical unemployment does not fluctuate the natural rate of unemployment. They're both seen as separate. Meredith is looking for work as a computer programmer. Although her prospects are good, she hasn't yet taken a job. So saying that her prospects are good is that there are jobs available. She's just in this matchmaking process of finding the right fit. Julie is looking for work, but there aren't many jobs ads for steelworkers, and every time she shows up for an interview, there are many more people than openings. Which statement best describes the nature of their unemployment? Well, Meredith is clearly frictionally unemployed, and Julie would be structurally unemployed. It's not a question of having the best match. She's going to many interviews, but there's just way too many people for that job. Then there are jobs available, so she might have to switch industries or move to a different area. Prime Minister Big Ego is running for re-election against Finance Minister Panda. Big Ego proclaims that more people are working now than when he took office. Panda says that unemployment rate is higher now than when Big Ego took office. What can you conclude? So a similar question like this could arise on one of the exams, so I'd suggest you guys to learn how to prove this, because in this question here, both can be right. It could have also been the other way around, that the unemployment rate fell and there's less people with work. Either way, it's the same kind of thing that happens, that comes into play. And when unemployment rate falls and there's less people at work, the reason for that is that unemployment rate fell because a lot of people got discouraged and left the labor force, so they no longer count as unemployed, even though they don't have work. So a lot of people that were unemployed become discouraged. You might have that dual effect. In this case here, you could see this as happening if, let's say, 500,000 people graduate from school and get onto the workforce, and only 1,000 of them find work. While and all the other previous jobs are still there. Well, there'll be more workers, but there's so many more people that are looking for a job that are in the unemployed category and are also part of the labor force. Therefore, the unemployment rate, the unemployment rate may be higher than before. There's a lot more people looking for work. So there's a mixture of things that can happen here. So if, on the other hand, if he's saying that there's more people with work, but the unemployment rate is higher and not lower than before, yeah, that's exactly what I just said there. So both of them could be telling the truth. Well, actually, sadly, if you know this, all of them have that answer. If the labor force grew slower than employment, no, the labor force has to grow faster than employment. If you're not sure about this question can be tricky. I suggest you to work through an example and actually look at it and try to see, using different numbers, why this has to be the case. Okay, so if employed people grow by 10%, there needs to be more than 10% growth and a mixture of employed and unemployed people. Who would be counted as unemployed according to Statistics Canada? Well, Kate, who is waiting to be recalled after a temporary layoff, is actually unemployed. James, who has graduated but is taking a year off volunteering abroad, cannot be considered as unemployed even though he doesn't have a job. He's not seeking a job. Brian, a full-time student, even if he was seeking work, if he's not willing to give up his full-time student job, he's not seeking full-time work, he can't be considered as unemployed. And someone who's retired and not looking for work is not unemployed either. So you have to be looking for work. And even though it's a temporary layoff, this person who's in this temporary layoff may be seeking other types of jobs to compensate for this full-time that she's not working right now. So she's open for work, whereas the other three groups, even if they were offered a job, wouldn't take it, so they can't be seen as unemployed. How's the unemployment rate computed? Well, it's the number of unemployed people divided by the labor force. This, you should remember it by heart. Unemployed people divided by people that are either employed or unemployed times 100 to find the actual percentage. So if you have 10 out of 100 people, that is 90 people employed, 10 people unemployed, well, you'd have 0.1 times 10 gives you 10, which is 10%. So that is how unemployment rate is computed.